Good morning, evening, everyone. We're approaching the end of the year, a time when worries often stack up like a mountain before us. But today I want to share a powerful truth: stop worrying, because God is preparing to transform your life this December. Worrying is a deeply ingrained human habit, and at first glance it can feel like a necessity. When something in our lives goes wrong or feels uncertain, our minds naturally try to solve the problem by running through scenarios, searching for answers, and attempting to control the uncontrollable. We convince ourselves that by worrying we're somehow preparing for the worst or solving the issue at hand. But the hard truth is that worry is not only ineffective but also harmful. It drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and distracts us from the actions we could be taking to make real progress. Think of worry as carrying a heavy bag on your back. Each anxious thought adds more weight to that bag. Over time, the load becomes so unbearable that you can hardly move forward. The irony is that none of that weight contributes to solving the challenges you face. Instead, it limits your ability to think clearly, act decisively, and live fully in the present. Worrying is like running on a treadmill. You expend energy, but you stay in the same place. What makes worry so seductive is that it feels like you're doing something. When we worry, it can give us a false sense of control. We believe that by obsessing over what could go wrong, we'll somehow prevent it from happening. But here's the reality: most of the things we worry about never come to pass. And even when they do, they're rarely as catastrophic as we imagined. Think back to the last time you lost sleep over a problem. How often did your worst fears actually materialize? Chances are, the outcome was either manageable or different than what you'd envisioned. Worrying didn't prepare you for the situation, it only robbed you of your peace leading up to it. So what's the alternative? It's not about ignoring your problems or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Life is full of genuine challenges, and some situations require our attention and effort. But there's a clear distinction between productive concern and unproductive worry. Productive concern is rooted in the present. It focuses on what you can do right now to improve your circumstances. Unproductive worry, on the other hand, is stuck in the future. It fixates on hypothetical outcomes that are often beyond your control. One of the most powerful ways to break free from the grip of worry is to shift your focus to what you can influence. Ask yourself, what is one step I can take today to address this issue? It doesn't have to be a monumental effort. Sometimes even the smallest action can create momentum and reduce the overwhelming sense of helplessness that fuels worry. When you act, you reclaim a sense of agency over your life, and that alone can bring relief. Another essential step is to recognize when your mind is spiraling into worry and gently redirect your thoughts. This requires self-awareness and a willingness to let go of the illusion of control. You might find it helpful to remind yourself of this simple truth: God is in control, not you. That's not to say you shouldn't care about the outcomes of your efforts. It's natural to want things to go well. But there's a difference between caring and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Trusting that God has a plan for your life allows you to release that weight and focus on the present moment. Cultivating trust in God is a process, and it often requires practice. One way to build this trust is through prayer and reflection. When you feel worry creeping in, take a moment to pause, breathe, and pray. Share your fears with God and ask for the wisdom to discern what's within your control and what you need to surrender. Over time, you'll notice that this practice brings a sense of peace and clarity that worry never could. It's also important to remember that worrying doesn't only affect your mind, it affects your body too. Chronic worry can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, fatigue, and even more serious health issues. By choosing to let go of worry, you're not just protecting your mental well-being, you're also taking care of your physical health. Finally, consider the impact of your worry on those around you. When you're consumed by anxiety, it can be difficult to show up fully for the people you care about. Your loved ones need your presence, your support, and your energy, not your fear. By learning to let go of worry, you create space to connect with others more deeply and to be a source of strength and encouragement in their lives. In the end, worrying is a habit that can be unlearned. It starts with the realization that worry is not a solution, it's a burden. Once you see it for what it is, you can begin to release it, step by step. Trust that God is working in your life, even when you can't see the full picture. Focus on what you can do today and let tomorrow take care of itself. The freedom and peace that come from letting go of worry are worth the effort it takes to get there. Faith and patience are at the heart of meaningful transformation, yet they're two of the most difficult virtues to cultivate in our fast-paced, results-driven world. When life feels uncertain or overwhelming, the natural instinct is to want immediate answers and quick resolutions. We want to fix what's broken, achieve our goals, or find clarity as soon as possible. But the reality is that meaningful change rarely happens on our timeline. It unfolds according to a greater plan, one that often requires us to wait, to trust, and to endure challenges that stretch us in ways we never anticipated. Think about the process of growth in nature. A seed planted in the ground doesn't sprout overnight. It takes time for the roots to grow, for the sprout to break through the soil, and for the plant to mature into its full potential. During that time, a lot is happening beneath the surface, work that's invisible to the naked eye but essential for the plant's survival and eventual flourishing. Similarly, in our lives, transformation often happens in ways that we cannot immediately see. The waiting period, though uncomfortable, is not wasted time. It's a period of preparation, strengthening, and refinement. When we talk about faith, we're not just referring to belief in something greater than ourselves, we're talking about an active trust that sustains us through uncertainty. Faith is the conviction that there is purpose in the process, even when the outcome isn't clear. It's the ability to say, I don't understand why this is happening right now, but I trust that it's leading me somewhere good. This trust is what allows us to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is shrouded in darkness. Patience, on the other hand, is the discipline of allowing the process to unfold without forcing it. In a world that celebrates instant gratification, patience can feel like a weakness or a waste of time. But in reality, patience is one of the greatest strengths we can cultivate. It's the ability to resist the urge to rush ahead, to sit with discomfort, and to wait for the right moment to act. Patience doesn't mean passivity, it means trusting the timing of your actions and recognizing that some things cannot be hurried without sacrificing their quality. One of the challenges of embracing faith and patience is that it requires us to relinquish control. We like to believe that if we just work hard enough, plan well enough, or worry long enough, we can make things happen exactly as we want them to. But life doesn't work that way. There are forces beyond our control, circumstances we can't predict, and outcomes we can't guarantee. Faith and patience invite us to release the illusion of control and instead rest in the assurance that God's timing is perfect. It's important to remember that waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. While we wait, there are always steps we can take to prepare for what's to come. Just as a gardener tends to the soil, waters the plants, and removes weeds while waiting for the harvest, we too can use our waiting periods to grow, learn, and strengthen ourselves. This might mean working on our skills, deepening our relationships, or taking small, consistent steps toward our goals. The waiting period is not about stagnation, it's about preparation. When you look back on your life, you'll likely notice that some of the most transformative moments happened not when everything was going smoothly, but when you were faced with challenges that required you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Those moments of uncertainty, struggle, and waiting were the crucibles in which your character was forged. They taught you resilience, deepened your empathy, and prepared you for the opportunities that came later. In the moment, those challenges may have felt unbearable. But in hindsight, you can see how they were necessary for your growth. Faith and patience also teach us to appreciate the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. When we're in a hurry to reach our goals, we often miss the beauty and lessons of the present moment. But when we slow down and trust the process, we begin to notice the small blessings along the way, the support of a friend, the joy of learning something new, or the quiet moments of peace that remind us we're not alone. Finally, faith and patience remind us that transformation is rarely a straight line. It's a winding path with detours, setbacks, and surprises, but every step, even the ones that feel like failures, is part of the journey. When you trust in God's plan and embrace the waiting periods with patience, you open yourself to possibilities that you might never have imagined. Transformation is not just about reaching a specific goal, it's about becoming the person you were created to be. So as you navigate life's uncertainties, hold on to faith and patience. Trust that the challenges you face are shaping you in ways you may not yet understand. Embrace the waiting periods as opportunities for growth and believe that in God's perfect timing everything will fall into place. 4. Faith is a powerful force, but it isn't meant to exist in a vacuum. To truly transform your life, faith must be paired with action. The idea that belief alone is enough to change your circumstances is comforting but incomplete. Belief is the foundation. It's what gives you the courage to step forward, but it's the steps you take, grounded in that belief, that bring transformation. Without action, faith risks becoming passive, a comforting idea rather than a driving force in your life. To live a life of purpose and fulfillment, you need both conviction and movement. Imagine you're in a boat on a vast open sea. Faith is the wind that fills your sails, giving you the potential to move forward, but action is the rudder that steers the boat. Without the rudder, the wind might blow you off course, leaving you adrift. Similarly, without action to direct and harness the power of your faith, you risk staying in the same place, overwhelmed by the currents of life. One of the greatest barriers to pairing faith with action is fear. When faced with uncertainty, it's tempting to cling to the idea of faith while avoiding the risks that action demands. You might tell yourself, "I believe things will get better," while hesitating to take the steps necessary to create that change. But true faith isn't about avoiding risks, it's about trusting that God will guide and support you as you move forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Taking action doesn't mean you have to know every step of the journey. In fact, you often won't. Life rarely offers a clear map, and waiting for perfect clarity can keep you stuck in place. Instead, faith invites you to take the first step, even if you can't see the entire staircase. It's in the act of moving forward, of stepping into the unknown, that opportunities begin to reveal themselves. Your actions, no matter how small, create momentum, and momentum opens doors that might have remained hidden otherwise. Action rooted in faith also transforms your mindset. When you act on your beliefs, you reinforce them, making your faith more tangible and alive. It's one thing to say, "I trust that God has a plan for me," and another to live in a way that reflects that trust. Each action you take becomes a declaration of your faith, a way of saying, "I believe so strongly in what God is doing in my life that I'm willing to invest my time, energy, and effort into it." It's important to recognize that not all actions will lead to immediate or visible success. Some may feel like failures and others may seem inconsequential at first. But every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. Think of it as planting seeds. You may not see the results right away, but with time, care, and persistence, those seeds will grow into something meaningful. Each step you take is a part of that planting process, even if the harvest feels far away. Another critical aspect of faith-driven action is aligning your efforts with your values and purpose. It's not about taking random steps or acting out of desperation. It's about thoughtful, intentional movement that reflects what matters most to you. This requires reflection and a willingness to ask difficult questions. What do I truly want to achieve? What has God placed on my heart? How can I use my gifts and resources to serve others and fulfill my purpose? When your actions are guided by these questions, they become more than just tasks, they become acts of faith. Faith-driven action also invites you to embrace resilience. Not every effort will go as planned, and there will be setbacks along the way. But setbacks aren't failures, they're opportunities to learn, adjust, and grow. Faith reminds you that no effort is wasted, and that even in moments of difficulty, God is working through your circumstances to shape you into the person you're meant to be. Resilience allows you to keep moving forward, trusting that the process is just as important as the outcome. One of the most beautiful aspects of pairing faith with action is the way it inspires others. When people see you stepping out in faith, taking risks, and working toward your goals with determination and trust, it can have a profound impact. Your actions become a testament to the power of belief, showing others what's possible when faith is put into motion. In this way, your journey can become a source of encouragement and hope for those around you. Ultimately, faith and action are inseparable partners in the journey of transformation. Faith gives you the vision and courage to dream, while action turns those dreams into reality. Together, they create a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. So whatever challenges or uncertainties you may be facing, don't let them hold you back. Trust in God's plan for your life, and let that trust inspire you to take bold, meaningful steps forward. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a declaration of your belief in something greater, a belief that transformation is not only possible but inevitable when faith and action work hand in hand. December is a unique and powerful time of year. It marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, a moment of transition that invites reflection, renewal, and hope. The closing days of the year often stir a sense of urgency within us. We reflect on what we've accomplished, what we've lost, and what we wish had been different. This natural cycle of endings and beginnings is deeply symbolic, a reflection of the seasons in nature that echo the rhythms of our own lives. December isn't just another month, it's a season brimming with the promise of transformation. At first glance, the end of the year might feel heavy. Regret or frustration can surface as we consider unmet goals or unfulfilled dreams. You might find yourself dwelling on mistakes, missed opportunities, or hardships that have lingered throughout the year. It's easy to feel weighed down by the past, but this is exactly why December is so important. It's a time to confront those feelings not with judgment, but with a willingness to let them go. Letting go is one of the hardest yet most liberating things you can do. The past, no matter how painful, is not something you can change. Holding on to it, whether it's guilt, disappointment, or resentment, only creates barriers to the new opportunities that await. December invites you to release what no longer serves you. It's a time to unburden yourself, to lay down the weight of the past, so you can step into the new year with a lighter, freer spirit. This process of letting go is not about dismissing the importance of your experiences. It's about reframing them. Everything you've gone through this year, the joys, the struggles, the triumphs, and the failures, has played a role in shaping who you are today. Each moment, no matter how small, has been a part of your growth. Reflecting on these experiences with gratitude, even for the difficult moments, allows you to honor the journey without becoming stuck in it. As you reflect, remember that endings are not just about closure, they're also about making space. Think of a forest in the winter, when the trees have shed their leaves. What seems like a period of loss is actually a period of preparation. The fallen leaves nourish the soil, creating the conditions for new growth in the spring. In the same way, the end of the year gives you the chance to clear away the old, creating room for the new blessings and opportunities that God is preparing for you. This time of renewal is not only about letting go of the past, but also about envisioning the future. December is a powerful time to set intentions, to dream about what you want your life to look like in the coming year. But dreaming alone is not enough. It requires you to align your actions with those dreams. As you think about your goals, ask yourself what steps you can take, even small ones, to bring them to life. This is where faith and patience come into play, trusting that as you take those steps, God is working behind the scenes to guide and support you. It's also essential to recognize that transformation doesn't happen all at once. The transition from one season to the next is gradual, and the same is true in our lives. The changes you seek may not be immediate, but they will come in their own time, as long as you remain committed and open to the process. December is not just the end of a year, it's the beginning of a season of growth that will unfold in the months ahead. One of the most beautiful aspects of this time of year is its reminder of hope. December often carries a sense of expectation, a feeling that something new and wonderful is just around the corner. This hope is not unfounded. It's a reflection of the promise that God is always at work in your life, even when you can't yet see the results. The challenges and uncertainties you face are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones to the transformation that God is preparing for you. As you move through this season, take time to celebrate the journey you've been on. Recognize the strength it took to get through the difficult moments and the courage it took to keep going. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, and the lessons learned along the way. And most importantly, celebrate the fact that you are still here, still growing, and still capable of incredible things. December is a season of endings and beginnings, of reflection and renewal. It's an opportunity to let go of what no longer serves you, to embrace the lessons of the past, and to step boldly into the future with faith, hope, and intention. Trust that God is working in your life, preparing you for a new season of growth and transformation. This is your time to reflect, to dream, and to prepare for the incredible things that lie ahead. Let this December be the turning point, the moment when you choose to release the old and welcome the new with open arms. 4:0. As we come to the close of this message, let us embrace the profound truth that worrying, hesitating, and holding on to the past only hinder the extraordinary transformations God is preparing for us. This December, we stand at the threshold of a new chapter, a time to release burdens, to trust deeply in God's timing, and to take meaningful action rooted in faith. Life's challenges may not disappear overnight, but they are shaping us, strengthening us, and preparing us for the blessings to come. Let this season be a turning point, where we exchange fear for trust, impatience for perseverance, and regret for hope. Step forward with the confidence that God is at work in your life, even in ways you cannot yet see. He is creating a path for you, opening doors you never imagined, and preparing your heart for a season of renewal and growth. So stop worrying. Trust that God will transform your life this December. Take bold steps of faith, guided by patience and hope. Reflect on the past with gratitude, dream for the future with intention, and act in the present with purpose. The best is yet to come, and this is your moment to step into it.